Hey everyone, once again we're back in here for two reasons. In particular, just one reason. It's about the storm outside, and I really don't want to have to walk outside, get into that room and set everything up, and then have to walk back out in the rain, in the dark. Okay, so it will be up on Saturday, so everyone should see this up on Saturday night, hopefully. It's going to take about 2 hours for it to load up, but I'm Gavin, this is my dad, and this is the Unofficial Talking Badlands. Now, this is episode 8 of season 2, Sting of the Scorpion.
Sting of the Scorpion.
All right, the Sting of the Scorpion. Okay, so we got a lot of talk about this one. This is probably one of the more straightforward episodes. Probably the most straightforward episode I've seen.
Action-packed.
Yeah, very action-packed, very direct to the point, and we're going to try to stay on cue like we did last week and keep it rolling. Okay, so starts off, they got to get into the Badlands. They're being snuck in thanks to
Baji, he trades the car for safe passage into the Badlands.
But of course, as you know, nothing's that simple, so they get captured. Now, they get captured, they pretty much get thrown in, and they already know they're going to have to make a deal. Okay? Now, they get captured by Chow, which is the female. I'm thinking she definitely looks a little Asian, in my opinion. Yes. But Baron Chow, she wears all white. Her clippers have katanas. They wear all white. She's very Victorian looking, and I also got a 70s chair in there too, one of the orb chairs. But she's very much into I'm high society type of person. So Sonny strikes a deal basically in a point where he's going to say, I'll bring the Baroness's head. I want my freedom. I want to get my veil and Henry, and so he goes from there. Okay. Chow and Sonny make a deal.
Right. Chow and Sonny make a deal, and essentially the deal is, I help you if you help me, and of course,
right,
like you said, I help get the wood out into the open, and we'll take care of her if you help take care of me, find Vale and my son.
Right. They set her up. I'm gonna keep the mic right here. They set them up by basically saying you're gonna go in, you're gonna defect, run to the widow, tell them I have a boy named MK. Kind of gives a spill on MK's powers, but they don't know MK doesn't have his powers. Now, lo and behold, at first, MK's thinking, oh, you're gonna betray me again, and of course the same thing. Baji thinks the same way. Now, when this happens, Sonny slips a little something in Baji's pocket, which he doesn't realize at first, which is probably a good thing, because then he would have hammed it up and would have most likely would have
messed up the plan.
He
gave him something to pick the lock with on the door.
So Baji does escape. He gets on a motorcycle, and somebody as Baji's size on the motorcycle is really funny. And he's going pretty fast too, so that's going to hurt if he falls. But so one of the big things that we have right now is, of course, going back a little bit to what's happening with Quinn. He wants to marry Vale, and at the same time, before this happens, though, he shows the head of I just can't remember the Baron's name now. Which we haven't even talked about that. I'll remember his name, but he was a European man. He wore dark blue. He had brass knuckles with spikes on it. But he shows he gets killed. Quinn shows his head, and the Baroness, the widow, she had the Asian, the Chinese man. I swear he looked Chinese. Or more Tibetan, maybe. But his sword style was definitely more Chinese influenced, in my opinion. He was wearing all orange. Now, of course, he gets killed by the widow. His head gets chopped off. Well, lo and behold, Quinn killed everybody. He killed the entire family, which the widow didn't like. And of course, Vale's sitting there watching, and Matilda sees what happened, transpired, and it's kind of starting a rift between the widow and Matilda. It's like, well, we're trying to save people, and she basically has the attitude, the ends justify the means.
Right. She said, what's one sacrifice? Look what I've done. Look at all the others I've saved.
And she wasn't for us anyway. She tried to turn you against me. And I will say this, though, is Vale is my least favorite character in the series. And I understand everyone's going to be like, oh, you don't understand how a woman is. Or yeah, I don't know how to understand what a woman is. I'm a guy, okay? So, all right. Guys are for Mars, women are for Venus, and there's a lot of truth in that, and that's not me being sexist either. That means the fact is, yeah, we don't understand women just like women don't really understand us, okay? It's a learning experience. I don't like Vel because she plays the damsel in distress. Like, she can't do anything, and I'm sorry, I know she's supposed to be a doctor, but, just, I don't like her. I'm sorry, I don't like her.
Well, it's her attitude. It's that self-righteous attitude that she has.
Yeah, and that's the reason why I don't like the character. Now, the actress is good, don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah.
She does a good job. I don't like the character, okay? Now, of course...
Vale and Matilda, they have a discussion, and Vale kind of lets you know that... the widow is not as upstanding and as righteous as you think that she is.
Right. Now, one thing that I did notice, though, in this one is, of course, they let them know that Sonny's alive. The guy from Chow, the guy who was set to tell the widow that MK is there. He says, oh, MK and everything. Sonny's alive, in a sense. So, no, she don't know Sonny's alive. That's right. That's my fault. But, there's like, okay, we're going to go save MK. Now, don't kid yourself. She wants MK for her own point. She doesn't really want to save him. She's very much sexist. Okay, she really don't care about any man. All she cares about is women, and I think that's part of her downfall. She's, and I understand a lot of stuff that happens to the women is bad. I do. Okay, I really do. But there's a lot of stuff that happens to the men too. I mean,
she kind of comes across as a man hater.
Yeah, and to me, that's a problem, and that's a flaw in her character because. You look at her and everything, and it's like, okay, yeah, I understand, that some bad stuff has happened, but you have to, and not every person's like that, okay? All right? Like, I can say this, come on, guys, we've all, and I'm talking to the guys here, okay? We've all had that one girl that's really messed with us, okay? We got mad, but we don't hate all women, or we shouldn't. And women, you've had that one guy who's two or three that's really messed you up, and you shouldn't hate all guys. We're not all like that, okay? And that's the flaw in the widow's character is she really doesn't care about men. All she cares about women. Well, that's a flaw because everyone's got to work together. All right. Now, I know the one thing that was happening besides the marriage, Vel says basically she's going to kill Quinn, which Jade tells him no, you don't, because then Henry would die. But Jade is going to take care of Henry and try to help Vel out because she don't trust Quinn, but she's not strong enough to kill Quinn herself, which is a flaw in her character. She's a badass woman in my sense, but she's not. It's like
she's not cold-blooded enough.
No, she's not. She's caring,
but not cold-blooded.
Well, the fight scene that transpires with, the widow's people appear, they save MK, and then all of a sudden, whoops, Sonny's got the blade by her neck, and she has that, oh, shit. I mean, she literally, when she saw Sonny, she's like, Sonny, and
yeah, she was kind of surprised. She didn't realize that Sonny was as good as he is.
And, of course, she manipulates Sonny, but Sonny's not falling for it either, and they team up. Now, Baji's seen the whole thing, and I think Baji's going to recognize the widow after a while. That's just my theory on it. We still got 2 more episodes this season. Now, wrapping up because we're about out of time.
Yes.
Okay. The fight scene here was very well done. One of the butterflies dies. Mark that on the calendar. I promise you, this is probably the first time one of the widow's people dies. And I'm going to double check all this. Besides the one that committed suicide
Yes.
in season 1. But this is the one she dies in combat. Now, that we see. Now, of course, Matilda's kind of happy that this is happening. And MK's holding his own. MK does trust Sonny. But he doesn't fully trust the widow, but he does trust Matilda. So, and we'll have another episode where we'll break down all the fight scenes, everybody. I mean, there'll be like 2 or 3 episodes later on where we'll break down all the fight scenes. Okay? Agreed on that one?
Yes.
I think something that's going to happen is, besides now that Quinn knows, of course, there's going to be the battle between Quinn and Sonny coming up. I think... I kind of think something's going to happen between Matilda and the widow, but I don't think either of them going to die. I think she's going to see Baji, and Baji probably being the only man she really cares about. She's going to recognize Baji, and what do you think?
Yeah, I think they have a history. There's no doubt in my mind about that. How far, how deep, I don't know.
Yeah. So, anything else you can think of for this time?
Going back over. No, not really. It's pretty straightforward this time.
Yeah, very straightforward episode, everybody. Catch us next week for episode 9. 2 more episodes for this